Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, a light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look.
What's going on, everybody? Dash Michaels here, and welcome to another special episode of the Shorts and Hoodies podcast. Or look at that right there. That's that Shorts and Hoodies podcast right there. I'm so psyched about this freaking flag. You don't even know. You don't even know.
Just wait till I get a sweater, Dash.
Can't do it man away.
Yeah, that's what I need to get. We need to get some merch up in this piece.
I would like a hoodie with Shorts and Hoodies on it.
Yeah, I had started.
New hoodie.
I had started designing stuff already. So with the XCAD and everything, and I'm digging on the font right now. My problem is I like to change stuff all the time.
Yeah, you do.
You're a creative guy.
Look. When I changed over the second time is when y'all came on, and then I changed it for the third time at the turn of the year. So my goal is to not change anything until next year, or just keep it the same for a while.
It's going to get expensive with the flags if we keep having to change the logo font.
No, we're going to keep the XCAT for a while.
Okay.
I like the XCAT a lot. Today's episode, we are talking top 10 gangster movies. But before we even get to that, it has been a sad week. I can speak personally for myself. We lost two big people. Sidney Poitier passed away, and America's Dad, Bob Saget, as you saw with the intro and everything, kind of an homage to Bob Saget and the Full House theme and everything. And I don't know. I was gonna say I was around Candace Cameron's age, so she was like my crush kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
you know. But
she's cute.
Danny Tanner, Jesse Katsopoulos, Joey Gladstone, like that whole show meant so much to me. But like growing up, we had TGIF. It was
definitely
Full House, not growing thing, but Full House, Family Matters, all that stuff. But we also had America's Funniest Home Videos, so we were getting like a double dose of Bob Saget, and it was just it was. I didn't have the greatest home life, and so he was like that second dad for me. And so it was just like it was good fun. It really was. It was a good escape. And then even into his role on Entourage, to his stand-up.
He was on Entourage. I've never watched Entourage.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? That sounds interesting. It was
kind of like his like foul mouth, like dirty joke stuff that he would do in his stand-up. But it was like he played Bob Saget. He was the next door neighbor in the first couple seasons, and it was just hilarious to where he was just like a womanizer and all this stuff, and it was just hilarious because you knew him as clean cut Danny Tanner.
It's too young. I mean, speaking of legends, we also lost recently Betty White. You've been losing these big legends of television and film. Sidney Poitier, a huge icon. I mean, Bob Saget was America's dad. You're absolutely right. He was absolutely America's dad. And the king of syndicated television, because he was on all the time. Yep.
I think between him and Norm Macdonald, it's been rough for me. And again, no hate against Betty White or Sidney Poitier. But Norm Macdonald, I mean, I'm a huge Saturday Night Live fan. And growing up in the 80s and 90s, Norm Macdonald, is one of my favorite Weekend Update hosts because of just his delivery was it was so different.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of them passing in the span of these last couple months here has just been, it's been tough. But I'm good now. It's a Friday show.
It's Friday.
I was in here on Sunday. How was the show? I watched a little bit of it, but it's like when y'all start talking like elves and dragons.
We called you out on it, dude.
I know. I heard.
No, you don't like the elves.
Kind of just
it's all right.
Over. But
the only elves you like are house elves in Harry Potter.
There we go. I love me some.
How do you like? Well, that's a question. That's a question for another time. How do you like house elves in Harry Potter, but you don't like the elves? But no,
they're a little different. I suppose.
No, I was thinking about that today because I was looking at we got the Hogwarts Legacy trailer, and I'm a game that I want it to be here, an open world, Hogwarts game. That's great. I want it now, and we've been waiting on it for a while. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, going, "Well, there's dragons in this too, like." How is it that I don't like stuff like Lord of the Rings or The Witcher or Game of Thrones, but I love Harry Potter?
I think it has to do with the fantasy. I mean, Harry Potter is more modern fantasy, whereas the Lord of the Rings and Witcher are kind of antiquated, sword and sorcery fantasy, which is a little bit different. This is there's sorcery. There's no swords. It's like in modern day. So it feels a bit more modern than the Lord of the Rings, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
that's it. I don't know. And I think you're onto something there. I kind of don't like camping a lot.
Yeah,
and that's just like Lord of the Rings is. It's just like, hey,
a lot of camping.
Like at least with Harry Potter, they're in a house of some kind. There's electricity or something. I don't know. Maybe
that is the worst.
I feel like we've really had a breakthrough. I think we've really had a breakthrough here, Dash. We figured it out. Your hatred of camping is why you don't like the Lord of the Rings.
I don't like. It's not that I don't like Middle Earth. I just don't like camping.
I could just see it now. Well, Dash, you like Lords of the Rings and stuff? Nah, man, I don't like it. Well, why not? I don't like camping.
Camping. Yeah, no, not into camping.
Well, it's usually, what's,
Did you like the first Rambo when he's camping outside the whole time? Is that okay?
Really? No.
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go.
I love everything else like Stallone has done, but like Rambo, I was just like,
oh no.
So as long as they're in RV, we're good.
Electricity or something.
Okay. All right.
Well, I used to go to my go-to was why did you like this? Well, I'm like, I don't have dragon problems. But I can't really make that excuse because
can't do that anymore.
There's a dragon in there.
Several.
Yeah.
Cool dragons. And so you learned all about them.
It finally comes out that Dash it's not that Dash hates Lord of the Rings. Dash just doesn't like camping.
Doesn't like camping.
That's hilarious.
Figured it out.
Wow.
I love you, Dash. I love you, man. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Therapy session here.
Well, speaking of therapy, gangsters don't get enough therapy.
That's right.
Like the Sopranos.
Some of these gangsters on this list do get some therapy.
They do get some therapy. Oh, I might. Yeah. I have a guess about a movie that you have on your list. Then
we'll see. All right. Anyways, we're getting into this. Before we get started here, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything. But more than that, too, now while you're subscribing, and you're like driving around, and you're like, I want to listen to my Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Better yet, and I'm sorry for this. Hey, Alexa, play Shorts and Hoodies podcast. You're welcome because that works.
And order me more socks.
Yeah. But yeah, you can take us on the road, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. And of course, while you're home, like I said, hit us. Just tell Alexa, tell Siri. Shorts and Hoodies, and she'll do it for you. She listens. Both of them.
She listens. She's there for you. She cares. She's totally not like the Matrix.
No. We are at 128 right now. 128 YouTube subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you. I very much appreciate it. We all do. Let's get up to 500. I want to get up to 500 by my birthday.
Ooh, when's your birthday?
August 28th.
August 28th. Hey, you know what? That's right, but my mom's birthday.
Really?
How strange is that?
Yeah, I want to get to at least 500 by then, and we'll have some cool stuff by then. Okay.
So be a friend and share this show with your friends and help us maybe get up to that 500 subscribers by Dash's birthday. What a nice gift that would be for Dash. Don't you want to give Dash a nice gift? Come on. Guilt trip.
There we go. All right, Jared, why don't you lead us into the March of the Gangsters? What is your number 10?
So my number 10, 9, 8, and 7 are all kind of random gangster movies. I'll just say that much. And then by 6, you'll start to see a theme for the top ones. Number 10, we're going a little dark here. This comes from 1998, American History X.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember that someone told me to watch this movie, and I was like, why would I watch a movie about a white supremacist? And I was just kind of like, what's going on here? And then I saw that one scene that I know everyone knows I'm referring to here, and blew my mind. And then just kind of seeing his transformation from that gangster to someone who's trying to save his brother from that life. It's a really cool turnaround story. You kind of see somebody go through the transition of life, and it's impressive to watch. It's a great movie that leads you off a dark hole, and you're like, oh, banana freaking sandwich here. And then by the end of it, you're kind of like, let's cohabitate and let's be friends and stuff. Like, it's really interesting to see how things work out and play. So American History X.
That movie is hard for me to watch.
Oh man!
Oh, you have seen it.
The first time seeing it, and be like, "Oh, yeah, whoa!"
I was gonna say that one scene that blew your mind, like blew that guy's mind too, and more than that.
That was a very intense way to open a movie.
Yeah,
very intense way to open a movie.
Like just like the air about him, like when he walks, like the swagger that he has when he walked out of that house out to that dude. You're just like
scary.
Yeah, very, very,
very scary.
I've met a few of those people in real life, and I walk to the other side of the street. I don't even care. That swagger is just, no, don't want none of that. No, thank you, sir or ma'am.
And can I interject real quick that it's very weird. There's so many girls had a crush on Edward Norton as that role. Like, go to a therapist, ladies.
Yeah.
That is not, I mean, maybe it's second half Edward Norton when he's trying to be redeemed.
Right.
I hope, but a lot of pictures of,
I mean, that shot of him in the boxers is just sublime.
I mean, he's quite cut. Yeah.
But speaking of American history and moving on from that.
Well, this is another kind of a dark movie. This is, again, a very well-respected actor kind of playing against type a little bit, if you want to call it that. This is a movie from 2004, directed by Michael Mann, which stars Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. This is Collateral.
Oh my God, I forgot about this one.
Oh yeah, this is such a great movie. So Tom Cruise plays a mob hitman who calls on Jamie Foxx's cab driver, courier service to pick him up, and says, "Oh, I need you to drive me around." So I make a couple of real estate deals, and turns out, we find out what Tom's actual job is when a body falls on the car. Real fun. I kind of spoiled a little bit, but it just gets worse from there, worse and worse and worse from there. And you kind of see, that it's kind of mob adjacent because these are mob people that Tom Cruise is going after. Tom Cruise himself is more of an assassin, but it's still, I think, a gangster movie because, the hitmen of gangs is kind of the Wild West, the new Wild West is, and Tom Cruise as this character in Collateral is definitely a lone gunslinger in a lot of ways. So awesome movie. A lot of tension. Great direction from Michael Mann. So that's my number 10.
I remember seeing that for the first time. I mean, one, it kind of throws you off guard that he has gray hair.
Oh yeah, totally.
Is it gray or white?
No, it's just
gray, white,
really great.
Very light. Very different for him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an intense movie. It's
very
super intense. It's not intense.
What's not intense?
My pick, because y'all are going hella dark, and I'm gonna lighten it up here a little bit.
Lighten this thing up, man.
So, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. So, my number 10 is a dark comedy. It does not take place in the United States. This takes place right above us with our friends in Canada.
Ooh,
Yeah, this is where I found out the dentists have one of the highest suicide rates.
really?
Yes, I had no idea, but
Hmm.
a good friend told us about that. His name is Matthew Perry, and he was tagged along by Jimmy Tulip Tedeschi, Michael Clark Duncan, and yeah, this is the whole 9 yards.
Awesome.
One of my
Awesome. Totally forgot about this.
one of my apps. I didn't care too much for the sequel,
Yeah.
but it was just like how much like Kevin Pollak is great as a character actor, but it's like come on, you're playing a whole other character now. Like
Yeah, totally different.
I love Bruce Willis in this role, and Matthew Perry is that neurotic, just like jumpy character is so good. Michael Clark Duncan
Dumkin.
Duncan is like the also one of the other hitman. What's her name? Amanda Peet. Comes on this movie. Is one of her first ones.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
She's so darn cute.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that, Jared?
I think I have like once.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of the older movies, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and stuff like that. A lot of those older ones. I usually saw it once. I was like, that was really good. I'll watch it again, and I just never.
I don't know if the whole 9 yards would be considered in the same vein as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in terms of old.
Well, I mean, it's
2000.
Well, I mean, it's like one of those movies that is really, really good that like everybody's noticed. It's like, you're really gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, this is 2022. So.
I don't know. The whole 9 yards to me is like a TBS movie. This is like a feel good. The whole 9 yards is on. I'll watch this. Like
warm blanket.
Yeah.
Blanket.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That is my number 10. Are we gonna go back dark here again?
Jared? See, Jared.
Yeah.
So we kind of made a thing because I'd been making it a thing for a little while. Number 9 is Zootopia. After the show, they ribbed me a whole lot. They're like, how are you going to fit Zootopia into every movie? And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way to work Zootopia into every top 10 until Dash yells at me.
All right. What's your justification for Zootopia in this list then? I need specifics.
Doing this. He's going to keep
what
doing
makes
this
it a gang movie?
The movie.
Well, so it's funny because when Judy is chasing through Smallville or whatever, the weasel through Smallville, the gal that she almost runs into is the mafia don's daughter that was getting married, and she complimented her on her nice hair. So of course, when the mafia don daughter came in and saw that it was Judy again, she was like, "Oh, I know her. She's a really good person." And so, in a way, the mafia helped them resolve the night terrors that were going on because she had complimented her hair. So because it does have the mafia in it and the mafia plays a part, and Stephanie is losing her absolute galldarn mind here, it technically is a mafia movie.
I'm so happy. That was brilliant.
I love you guys too.
Yep. I mean it. That's really funny. That's absolutely, you're absolutely right. It definitely counts as a gangster movie based on that. For real. I'm proud of you, Jared. That's my laughter.
If you guys have been watching the Level Up series, you know how dedicated I can get to some mathematics and stuff. So I'm going to be dedicated to keeping Zootopia alive as much as possible. So
math is your science.
Well, speaking of science, let's go to Miss Science herself.
Well, what scientists are. They are very much professionals in their field. And this film is about another professional who is the best at what he does. He is the boogeyman at what he does, until one day the family next door befalls a horrible fate and he is tasked with saving young Matilda. This is 1994's Leon the Professional, Luc Besson classic. Remember this movie? You've seen it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. This is a great movie. So again, it's like Collateral in that it's mob adjacent, and that it's the hitman who works for the mob, who does completes jobs for the mob. But there's also dirty cops involved. We have Gary Oldman telling, when somebody asks him how many guys to bring, he lets them know that he needs everyone. I'll do it kind of soft so I don't blow the microphone out. But Great performances all around. Tiny baby Natalie Portman is incredible. She's got so much presence for a tiny little person. And the ending is, I mean, the whole movie's brilliant. So I don't know what else I got to say. Leon the Professional.
Great movie. Great
It's
movie.
a great movie.
Jean Reno is just
Jean
so
Reno.
good. So good. So good.
He could say nothing and I will watch him forever.
Really?
Yeah.
You know that Gary Oldman scene where he screams everybody?
Everyone.
He did that because he was legitimately angry at the director for having him make it do it so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the thing was he's like, he kept making us do takes, and then he's just like, I did it for giggles, and they used it because they liked it. So
They liked it. Yep, it's punchy.
that opening scene is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Such a boogeyman scene. Like, eat your heart out, John Wick. We've seen John Wick. It is Jean Reno.
The OG.
The OG. So speaking of OGs, oh wait, Dash, let's go to your number 9. You are an OG.
Well, if I'm the OG, this would make Jared, you're gonna be Clown to the left of me, Joker to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with y'all. My number 9 pick, I will call myself Mr. Blue. This is Reservoir Dogs. Quentin Tarantino, 1992. That was a stretch. I was pulling.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, Tarantino, Michael Madsen, Harvey Keitel, Quentin Tarantino, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi as Mr. Pink. One of the best scenes to me in cinema history. That scene at the diner where he's like, "Why do I have to be Mr. Or not at the diner when they're in the warehouse? Why do I have to be Mr. Pink?" And it's just, it's such a great. That whole scene is just so great. I love Steve Buscemi, but I love Chris Penn. I'm a big Michael Madsen fan. Tarantino in my eyes can kind of do no wrong when it comes to his cinematography and his directing abilities. And this cast, led by Harvey Keitel, great twist in the movie. Great twist in the movie as well. Finding out who the mole is and everything, and then seeing somebody pick up an ear and sing into it is.
Lend Me Your Ears has different ring to it after that.
Really.
Yeah.
I love the part where he asked, "Why do I have to leave a tip?" It's like, yeah, well,
yes,
that was a great scene too, where they're bantering back and forth about like a 50-cent tip, but it's just, I loved it. I love it.
That's what Tarantino does so well, is that slightly absurd but naturalistic dialogue.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my number 9, Reservoir Dogs. See, I can go dark too. Go dark too. All right, Jared, what is your number 8? What is on my microphone?
We're going back to 1994. The late great Brandon Lee starred in this movie, and they had to finish the film without him. The Crow, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the one and only film that pretty much just made Brandon Lee. It's one of those movies that it grabs you by the shirt and it pulls you in. You know, the gangbangers that he messes with, and the way he messes with them for killing his girlfriend because they decided to, mess up his place in his apartment. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't try to move out of that place to begin with. It looked like a dumpster fire waiting to happen to begin with, but just it's that's how good it is. I just don't have much other than just, you need to sit down. If you haven't seen The Crow, sit down and watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I forgot this movie would be technically a gangster movie. Yeah, he does go against a gang. Yeah. Mood, atmosphere. There's just so much. The music of The Crow, C'est Magnifique.
Yeah.
So good.
And it's one of those things too, like, we hadn't heard from Ernie Hudson in a while. And then for him to play, the police officer, and the relationship him and
the Crow.
The little girl had.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good because they had that connection to Eric Draven. Sorry, I'm a huge fan of the comic. I played the Crow in a dance routine that I did.
Video?
There's one floating around there somewhere on the internet.
Can you find it, people? Find Dash's video.
Dash with blonde hair and black pleather pants on and a fishnet top.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I need that video in my eyeballs, please.
Yeah. Slim Dash too with abs.
Hey man, that's all of us when we're younger.
No, I'm a big fan of not just The Crow, but I am a fan of the sequels. Not in the sense of they're as good as the original, because they're not by any means.
They're not.
But
although
they all have something about them. Salvation, which I think is like the third iteration of the movie or of the franchise, is one of my absolute favorite. I will put that close to the original for me because of Edward Furlong is so good in it.
Oh, Eddie Furlong's in it? I've never seen any of these movies, but you got me Eddie Furlong from Terminator 2. That's awesome.
Yeah. City of Angels I didn't care for that at all. That was a sequel. So
did you know that there was a version of The Crow that was going to star Jason Momoa that was in development at one point? Well, that would have been really interesting. I don't know. He's got a face. It would have been interesting as The Crow for sure. But the original's still amazing.
Yeah. Great pick.
Thank you for that. I hate that when I pick something and I'm like, this is so good. And then it's like I got to say something about it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
One of those things though, it's like, and a person who needs no introduction.
Yeah.
It's one of those things to where it's like, it's The Crow. Like if you have not seen this movie, you seriously need to see this movie.
You should.
It's a piece of art. It really is. Beautiful. Between the way the scenes are shot to the music, like you said, everything about Brandon Lee in that movie is sheer perfection. And somebody who was taken away from us way too soon. Yep.
Alrighty, is it my turn? Speaking of movies that are dark, bloody, well, no, it's not really, girls aren't really bloody, but this is kind of a deep cut. We'll see if you guys have seen this one. This is a movie out of Indonesia that involves members of the 6 Seas gang, which controls many things in the area of Jakarta. It stars Iko Uwais as Aryan, who's the head of one of the factions, one of the lieutenants of the 6 Seas, and their enforcer, Ito, played by Joe Taslim, who decides when he's taking out an entire family who's gone against the gang to not kill the young girl in the family, and decides to protect her and protects her against the rest of the gang. This is 2018's The Night Comes for Us. Have you guys seen this movie?
No.
Okay, so This is my Steph deep cut. So I love Iko Uwais. He's a practitioner of the Silat style of martial arts, which is very different from traditional kung fu and what we typically see in a lot of kung fu and martial arts movies. You're gonna hear his name again sometime in this list. I'll just spoil it right now. But this is more of a gang movie in that all these gang members are going against each other, like one man versus this entire gang, and it's incredibly bloody. There's scenes in like a butcher's shop that are incredibly bloody. This director is kind of known for just kind of over the top gore, over the top violence, very much body horror involved with the martial arts action, and the movie's incredible. I mean, Joe Taslim. If you have not watched a Warrior on HBO Max, in which he plays one of the enforcers of the gang family. If TV was allowed on this list, I would definitely have Warrior as a gang film or gang TV show. But this movie is kind of the same sort of thing set in modern day Jakarta. It's very interesting. You get to see Indonesia, which is always kind of fun to see.
Nice.
You don't see very often.
That's pretty cool.
So
I like that when they do that, where like Bollywood will take a movie that we have and then put it in their own style.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stuff can turn out pretty awesome.
Yeah, very much so. And The Night Comes for Us. If you like South Asian martial arts movies, it's like creme de la creme. So that's my number 8. We're going back to you, Dash, for your number 8.
Well, where did yours take place?
Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay. So we're going to go from Indonesia all the way to Cuba.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And rum.
Arguably Brian De Palma's greatest masterpiece. Al Pacino, Scarface. Just a masterpiece of a movie. Hella good looking. Michelle Pfeiffer. So nice.
C'est magnifique.
Yeah. Tony Montana, the character of Tony Montana, it's just an incredible story. And it's, it's one of those things that kind of, spawned one of the best video games for Vice City.
Good point. Yeah.
If you've ever seen, Scarface, and then you're literally playing one of the in missions is right there in his compound.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice.
I love how they did that.
Yeah, so many references in pop culture for Scarface, whether it's the black, white, and red poster, the cover, to The World Is Yours with the globe, just the mansion compound itself. Is seen so many times in so many movies, from like The Hangover to Bad Boys, especially like Bad Boys.
Right.
Just a great movie. Love it so
Never
much.
use your own supply.
That's right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Good advice in general.
This is one of those things, Jared. It's kind of like The Crow. That it's like, it's Scarface. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to be, I think, a gangster list without the man who kind of, came from nothing and, made everything of himself.
I scrolled across it. I saw Scarface. I was like, Dash is going to have this on his list somewhere.
Oh,
I was like, yep, nope, not even picking it. I'll move on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, Jarrett, take us on to your number 7.
I think this might be the only movie that actually has gang in the title of it.
Oh.
What do you think it is, Stephanie?
I'm going to guess that it takes place in an upper northeastern state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what year it was made?
What year it was made? What
year the movie was made, or like
the year the story is set?
The year the movie came out.
It's like the early 2000s,
yeah.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
2002's Gangs in New York.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an iconic movie with gangsters that's got twists, turns, and even just a little bit of history in it, whether you can call that a history, kind of a history, or this is history. This was I remember I had never heard the name Daniel Day-Lewis before. And
wow.
one of my ex-girlfriends that I actually dated for quite some time had a massive man crush on Daniel Day-Lewis. And she was like, have you ever seen Gangs in New York? I was like, no, I haven't seen it. She's like, do you know who Daniel Day-Lewis is? I'm like, no. Daniel Day-Lewis. Leah Hart, Leonardo DiCaprio, isn't
that
it?
Guy.
Yeah. I tried doing a little play on words and I was reading it. It didn't work out. But I mean, Liam Neeson, John C. Reilly, Brendan Gleeson, like these are major dudes in this movie. And I love how, I don't want to call it anticlimactic, but I want to say just how amazing that ending really is, that it plays into the history itself. And it leaves you wanting more out of it, which is amazing. I love the build up and the end. Like it's true gangster. That's what this movie is true gangsters.
Very, again, just like my last pick, a very bloody gang film. Yeah.
Oh God, I love that. Was it the Bloody Rabbits or something like that DiCaprio's dad was in? Because
is that what it was? It's so long since I've seen the Gangs in New York.
I know, right?
I gotta watch it again. You're making me want to watch it again.
I know, right? It was a good movie.
Once.
Yeah, I saw it once. I was in college, and so I don't remember a lot from college. But oh man, that's such a great movie, though. What an experience!
What an impressive mustache.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis, what a legend! My God.
If I could grow a stash like that, I wouldn't need a beard.
Yeah.
I know, right? I wish
I could grow a stash like that. Yeah.
Well, Speaking of gangsters and moving kind of forward in time, Stephanie.
I thought he was going to say, speaking of mustaches.
Speaking of mustaches, I thought I shaved mine off. But funny you say that. This next movie does involve a similar region to where Gangs of New York takes place. And it does involve one of the actors you just mentioned. This is actually a remake of a 2002 Hong Kong film called Infernal Affairs. That is also based on a Boston Winter Hill gang, the activities. This is the Irish mob boss Frank Costello, who plants Colin Sullivan as a mole within the Massachusetts State Police, and simultaneously the police assign undercover state trooper Billy Costigan, Leonardo DiCaprio, to infiltrate Costello's crew. Yep, that's right. This is 2006, The Departed.
Oh, such a good movie.
So good. Matt Damon versus Leonardo DiCaprio. And of course, the great one, my personal favorite Joker. Sorry, everybody, Mr. Jack Nicholson. I mean, that, of course, speaking of memes from the movie, the one meme everyone uses that I can't even think of without laughing. It's like Jack Nicholson going, yes. You know, that comes from this movie, of course. But so many, I mean, Scorsese doing a gangster film is always, it's always, you know, perfect meatball. And this movie is definitely, it has all the tension of like an Asian crime thriller, but then this overlay of this Boston gang and kind of the nor'easter, you know, tough guy sheen over that story that Scorsese puts in the film. I mean, it's a masterpiece, absolute masterpiece of a film.
That scene with Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon, when they just kind of go, he just like lays into him. I was just like, damn, like,
yeah,
makes
Mark
you
Wahlberg.
feel so small.
So small. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just a masterclass of acting all around, everybody in the film.
I heard about that accent, the Departed, and I was like, really, it's that bad, guys? They're like, it's bad. I was like, all right, I'm gonna skip it.
Costello. I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Frank Costello.
This was gonna be on my list, but well, I'll do this.
Oh, Dax is doing it. The first move of the day.
Modifying the list.
No, it came off of my honorable mention.
Oh, I see.
It was on my honorable mention, as well as Gangster New York was too.
There you go, taking some off.
So, I am now. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We down to
8.
Oh, we're down below 10. Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Well,
let's see if we can whittle some more off your future list. But for right now, we're going to go with your number 7 on your list.
My number 7 comes to us. It has jumped off of the newspaper. It has come right out of the comic strips, straight to the big screen. This is the biggest adaptation of this comic strip. This is Flat Top. This is Browface. This is Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy. I am such a Dick Tracy fan. I'm a big fan of Dick Tracy. It's such a great movie. Warren Beatty, Madonna, Al Pacino. Again.
Al Pacino again.
Yeah. It's such a colorful movie with all of the brightness of the colors of the suits and the lights, the way the art direction was on this movie, to the costuming, to the makeup and effects. Dustin Hoffman is Mumbles, such a great character, and so many of the actors that you sit here and go, I didn't even know that was them. I can't think of the actor's name. Stephanie, you're better with actors' names than I am. But the actor who plays Flat Top.
He's in so many movies.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, I was thinking it was Gary Busey,
William
but it's not.
William.
There you go. You just got it before me.
Played Flat Top, and such a great villain. Such a great villain. In the Dick Tracy comic strips. Do you guys know anything really about Dick Tracy? Am I showing my age?
Yes, I know quite a bit about Dick Tracy.
Yeah. I'm such a huge fan. And then for them, at that time, we had the Apple Watch pretty much, with the transistor, watch and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, very cool stuff. All right.
Number 6.
Number 6.
I could have swore you were going to say Daredevil, to be honest with you.
I thought it might have been that too. Yeah.
I remember when Daredevil came out and that iconic battle between him and Fisk. I was like, yes. But we're actually, this is where the theme is going to kind of start. If you can kind of notice it, we're actually going to Netflix in 2019 with my number 6 pick for Highwaymen.
Okay.
Yes. I saw this. This is really good.
Yeah. Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson are retired Texas Rangers. And for some reason, they're the guys that are pulled out of the fire. And I mean, they're sent to hunt down Bonnie and Clyde, of all the people. And I think it's amazing to watch how we dealt with gangbangers back in that time frame. I mean, now the detectives, they do, like, I'm a big fan of documentaries, and like just to see how they figured it out. And then that ending is so sublime because you have this tension and it's building and building, and then it's just silence and a whole bunch of gunfire. And oh yeah, yeah.
Good
so
stuff. Kevin Costner, I mean, he's so good in that. It's like a perfect role for him. It's quiet, understated, solid detective work. So good. It's such a good movie. Good pick.
Yeah. Never. Okay. That's fair.
I wanted to, but
you definitely should see it. I highly recommend it. That's a great pull.
Huh?
Yeah. Especially
if you've seen Bonnie and Clyde. It's like the other side of Bonnie and Clyde, the story, which is figuring out how they found it. It's really sorry, I'll stop interrupting you.
No, you're good, Stephanie. I like when you speak for me. It's nice because it's like, oh no, there you go. That's better. I couldn't have said it better myself. So no worries. But yeah, dude, seriously, like Bonnie, like if you like Kevin Costner or Woody Harrelson, they're pretty much just being themselves.
I love Costner.
Okay.
You'll love this movie. I promise you. I promise you.
Kevin Costner, I can't even talk.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. He's like Kevin Kline to me, or he's like
say another Kevin.
Kevin McAllister. No, like I don't know, he's just that good. And it's something about his personality and the air about him that just keeps your attention. He doesn't just capture, he keeps it for the longevity of the movie. He's just such a good actor.
Have you ever seen, speaking of Kevin Costner real quick, the story he tells on the Graham Norton show about how he got the script for Dances with Wolves? Look that up. Kevin Costner on the Graham Norton show. He tells the story of how he arrived at that script. It's a great story. Just his personality in general, when he helps people. He's
really
one of the
surprised I haven't heard it. I'm a huge fan of Graham Norton and the Orange Couch.
I know I'm going to forget, but I really want to know, Stephanie, so please send that to me if you can.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'll send it on our group chat.
Appreciated, yeah. But speaking of movies that we love, Stephanie?
This is going to be real quick because Dash just said everything I want to say about this film as recently as his last pick. This is 1990's Dick Tracy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie.
Oh.
I watched this movie so many times as a kid. It was always on WGN out of Chicago. It was always on there, and I'd always catch it. I loved Madonna, and Madonna is so that the musical numbers in the movie are so good. The music is so good. Everything you said plus what I just said. Dick Tracy. God, I love that movie.
I don't know, when did Batman come out? The original one.
89.
So yeah, it had that
right in there.
Same exact.
Had a gothic soundtrack a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. It
sound of the Tommy guns.
I don't want to say no. Maybe it didn't. I think that's wrong to say. I don't think it had a Tim Burton feel. It had a Batman animated series feel to it.
Very much so. Yep, I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Music and everything. Like it's such a fun movie. I remember seeing it in theaters. I had playing cards that had Dick Tracy and all of them.
Really?
I was such
wow.
But I grew up like I looked forward. That was one of the strips that I looked forward to was Dick Tracy.
Really? Wow. I never read Dick Tracy as the comic strip. That's awesome. I only ever saw the movie. I'll have to check those out.
No, the comics are good. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon or the library or whatever, like the collection of them in the books.
Should definitely do that. It's a good idea. Anyways, well, so there's my quick little take on Dick Tracy. So we're gonna go back to you, Dash, with your numbers. So number 6, right? Yeah,
number 6. So my number 6 and my number 5 are probably, and I know this is my top 10 of like my favorite gangster movies, but in all just out fun gangster movies, these two, especially in my number 5, but I'll get to that in a minute here. These movies are just so fun. Number 6 comes to us 1999. This is James Caan and Hugh Grant. If you've never seen this movie and you're a fan of gangster movies that are also comedies, I highly suggest you see the movie Mickey Blue Eyes.
Oh, I've never seen this. Okay.
It is Hugh Grant in all of his Hugh Grantiness.
Okay.
Of just being so British, like just uber British. And he ends up proposing to this woman who ends up being the daughter of a high-level mobster played by James Caan. And it's one of those things, like there's so many jokes from like, he owns a restaurant and it's called the La Trattoria, which means the La Trattoria. It's like, he does realize like that's what it's called, right? He's like, don't worry about it. So many Soprano stars are in this movie. I mean, obviously, as the rest of the movie, I'm sure that once we get closer and closer to our number 1, but I mean, I'm not a huge Hugh Grant fan, but him trying to learn and literally trying to fit into a gangster lifestyle with Jimmy Caan of all people, just so hilarious. I mean, James Caan plays straight so good. I mean, he is straight gangster, but
totally,
it
sounds funny.
The whole family. It's just what it is. Have you ever seen that movie?
I'm gonna need to watch that. I'm gonna need to watch it though.
Never seen it? Mickey Blue Eyes. It's so
Mickey Blue Eyes.
Yeah, there's a scene of like James Caan trying to tell him like how to say certain things, like forget about it, and he's like, hey, forget about it. It's so hilarious. I mean, it's the Englishman trying to speak American, which not everybody can do, unless you're like Tom Holland or every other actor,
right? Benedict Cumberbatch.
But like his accent is so strong. Him trying to do like an Americanized accent, but like
Americanized Italian accent.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It will make you pee.
Put that on the box.
Yeah.
Dash Michaels, it'll make you pee.
All right, Jared, take us into the second half here. Number 5.
So my number 5 pick is actually a movie that you guys have probably never seen. Many people probably haven't really ever heard of it. It's a very B kind of C movie out there. It's called Felon from 2008. It's basically about a dad and a husband, a guy who's trying to do right by his family. There's a gang member or somebody just randomly breaks into the home. And then as the guy's running away because he drives him off with a baseball bat, he hits the guy in the back of the head and kills him.
Oh boy.
Now, because the guy was fleeing, he does have to go to prison because technically it's involuntary manslaughter. Now, he's a white boy, so he goes to prison and joins the Woods. And then we learn a little bit about how the prison works. And it's very interesting because it basically pits all these different gangs together. Val Kilmer is actually in the movie.
Ooh.
You don't know it's Val Kilmer until you see the end credits, though.
Oh.
Like he is. What's that?
Is it like makeup?
No, he's not. He
looks different.
Yeah, he got a little bit bigger like we did.
He's had some rough times. Yeah.
He's had some rough times.
Batman doesn't look like Bruce Wayne anymore.
No. But yeah, it's a very cool movie to kind of watch how the internal politics of a prison works. And it's just, the Woods and versus, some of the other gangs that are out there. And it's interesting to watch how everything works. And then Val Kilmer comes out to be a good guy in the prison, which
Spoilers.
is interesting. Oh no, that's not a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Is Val Kilmer the main actor? Like
He's not the main guy.
Who's
I
the
think
lead?
Stephen Dorff.
Oh,
As
Stephen
Wade.
Dorff.
Stephen Dorff. Yeah,
Stephen
there we go.
Dorff.
Yeah,
Great
Stephen
Stephen
Dorff.
Dorff from
Movie
Blade.
sounds familiar.
Yeah,
This does sound familiar, but I'm not placing it. I know I haven't seen
Is
it.
this like a B movie?
yeah, it's a BC
Like a red
movie.
box?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a red, like straight to red
I
box.
want to say I've seen this.
Yeah, it's where he goes to prison and then the prison is corrupt. Go figure.
Huh.
No,
I like me
Well,
some Val Kilmer.
yeah,
Val Kilmer.
yeah. If you put in Val Kilmer felon, you'll see him. He doesn't really much look like Val Kilmer does. But if you want to watch a cool movie where people are constantly getting beaten up with a very corrupt lieutenant, I'd watch it. It's interesting.
It does sound interesting.
I know
Especially you
it's-
said Val Kilmer.
Oh, he looks like James. He looks like Josh Brolin a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little older, a
People
little
change.
fatter.
People change.
That's a big old goatee.
Yeah. I'll just say, like, the ending is pretty sweet. It like doubles and triple twists, pretty much. It's kind of interesting. But speaking of twists,
With
I
a
don't know how-
twist.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, she came up with it. She remembered. Stephanie, what do we got?
All right, so we're going with number 5. So this is an older movie as well. This is about a lot of gang warfare that takes place on the streets where they have to make it to the beach before sunrise. It's really hard for me to describe the movie without saying the most iconic line, which is "Warriors, come out and play." This is 1979's The Warriors. So we have rival gangs, gang on gang violence. The near future, this charismatic leader is trying to bring all the street gangs of New York together to, try to live in some sort of harmony without as much warfare going on between the gangs. And somehow this charismatic leader ends up dead, and the warriors are blamed for his death, and they're therefore chased throughout the city and have to try to survive a night to maybe hopefully make a pact of truce with one of the other gangs. So, I mean, brilliant movie. It's B, C, pulp kind of movie, but I mean,
Yeah,
not a lot of
definitely. Yeah.
faces in it.
Baseball gangs with baseballs on their faces, and just
Mhm.
one of the most couple iconic lines between Warriors and "Can You Dig It?" Oh.
Good stuff. Rival gangs. It's
Warriors in
good.
a long while.
I think it's still on Netflix. That's where I
Yeah.
ended up watching it. It's a great one just to, check out your history. It's a very influential film for a lot of the other films we're probably going to talk about here. So anyways,
Did you see the reunion that they did?
the reunion
Did a
of all those
Warriors
actors.
Reunion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Bet they look different.
It's like, the ones who were still alive, at least.
Sure.
Because I think the main guy, is
He probably dead.
I think he's
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah.
I think he passed. I want to say soon after the movie, but within 10 years.
Not
after
too
the
long.
movie.
Yeah. He was pretty young when he died. I
And
forget.
we
I
had,
didn't look at the actor's name.
The leader of everything. He passed away later on. Like he was old.
Quite old dude.
And he shows up in another one of my picks.
Oh, interesting.
One
Oh,
who says, "Can you dig it?"
okay. So
Nice.
a little bit of a preview.
Yeah.
So there was my number 5. So Dash, let's go to your number 5.
My number 5 is, like I said, this movie is such an influence on my life. This is 1995. This is Rene Russo. This is Gene Hackman. This is Danny DeVito and John Travolta. Get Shorty.
All right.
Have you seen this
Good
movie?
pick. I have not seen
Are
this
you
movie.
serious? His character in the movie is so good. Like he plays this Shylock, who he ran books and and all this stuff. What's his name? James Woods is in the movie,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's such a good actor.
Mhm.
Gene Hackman has like this really kind of like Bowfinger type studio that just does like pulp movies, like Creatures from the Lagoon of Bayside High kind of stuff like that.
Mhm.
Really just pulp horror movies. And Rene Russo plays one of the actresses attached
Okay.
to everything. Danny DeVito is playing. He wants to get into the movie business. John Travolta does,
Okay.
writing movies, directing, and stuff like that. And then they went on to make a sequel called Be Cool.
I remember that. Yeah.
Be Cool was a
I
direct
didn't see
sequel
that
to the
either.
same writer and everything. And then there was a show on FX as well.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of things.
I've never seen the show on FX, but if I understand, it's a little bit different than
Okay.
how the movie was. But James Gandolfini was in it as well. He played a bodyguard. And
Okay.
then what's his name? Not Lando. Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo.
Yep, he is in it as well. Great movie.
wow.
It's
Great
a really
cast.
fun movie. It's a great book if you read or anything like that.
If you read.
I don't read. I read the movie.
If you read or something.
Yeah, if you read, it is a really good book though. Both Get Shorty and Be Cool.
Subtitles about as far as I go. That's about as much reading as I do.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
All right, Jared, what is your number cuatro, your number 4?
This is a reoccurring movie that I've had on before. It's not something that we've had, but the Sicario series, Sicario from 2015 and 2018. You want to talk about what?
We have had this on here.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, I thought you said we haven't.
But not today.
Oh, not today. Okay. In a previous, I know in a previous episode I was talking about Sicario. But yeah, the Sicario series. You want to talk about quintessential like gang stuff. Like it's kind of funny because in I think it's the original Sicario, that opening scene when they make their way into Mexico and how they do that whole extraction from the prison and come back. Besides the shootout at the border, like that is legit really Mexico. Like you want to talk about real gangs and you want some reality in your series. That's eye-opening. That is like people's legit real life down there. And if you're kind of seeing the theme here of the top, 6 here, it's all about reality. Like a lot of this stuff is set in very real world. And I know I've said this a million times and I'll say it a million times again. If I can go, yeah, this is legit real life and see that it would happen and can happen, I like the movie that much better.
Very cool.
Okay.
I've never seen Sicario.
Don't
see it.
Well, I mean, it's a great movie, but it is hard to watch. I mean, it's Denis Villeneuve. It's the first Sicario.
Josh Brolin is in it too, isn't he?
Josh Brolin, Emily Blunt.
Yeah, the opening scene is like, I almost didn't watch it the first time around because of the opening scene. You want to talk about a hardcore opening?
Yeah, pretty tough to watch.
I'd like they would make this an explicit episode if I even chatted just minutely about that opening episode. If you can handle some nonsense, go ahead and give it a try. But it's one of those movies where you want realism in life. This is going to be thrown right at you.
Yep.
We wanted to talk about gangsters.
That's gangs. Yep. The drug cartels, definitely.
Yeah. Stephanie, you want to lighten us up here? Because I feel like I brought us down a notch.
Well, I don't know how much this is going to lighten up, but this is a little bit more of an entertaining and spaghetti Western take on gangs. This does involve a group of assassins who are enacted upon a quest of revenge by one person who they wronged. This person in question is the bride, Beatrix Kiddo, who goes against the former gang, her gang of assassins, that kills her or tries to kill her. Her fiance takes her unborn child. She is going to kill Bill. So, I mean, this counts as, again, my theme on this is that the thing I like about gangster movies is the hitmen that work for gangsters. If you want to write my little portfolio of psychoses, but so we, of course, at the very beginning, Oren Ishii and the gang of the Crazy 88. That's quite she's the queen of the Tokyo underworld. So there's that whole gang aspect involved as well. But I mean, what have I got to say about Kill Bill 1 and 2? It's some of the most incredible action / pulp / whatever you want to call Tarantino style.
Fountains.
Fountains of blood. A little anime thrown in there as well, with the Oren Ishii's backstory. And I mean, I'm putting both 1 and 2 because I consider them to be one long film, going against the gang of the former assassins. I'm blanking on the name for some reason, but that my favorite part of the entire series is the trailer fight between the bride and oh God, I'm blanking on her name.
Vivica.
Yeah. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, Kill Bill, masterpiece, incredible gang violence movie.
I will say this: I'm not a big fan of the anime blood in real life. Like it feels
the spurts of fountains and stuff.
Well,
yeah,
like it feels appropriate in an anime, but when it came over to real life, I'm like, because I have a problem with animes. A lot of the Japanese anime where I don't think it's called. I forget what it's called, but how they express their expressions, I feel like it's way over the top, and I don't like faces. That. Well,
whatever.
Well, like I don't mind the little things there, but it's like if anybody's ever watched the anime or seen the manga, Love Hina. Those have some of the quintessential kind of like massive emotions. It just gets really weird and creepy on there. But like I was like, I like that stuff in the anime, but I was like, why didn't I like it in Kill Bill? Because it was
a lot. Yeah.
Well, it was good though. Like he did it in all the appropriate places.
I
don't know.
Artistic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a good movie though. It was
a great movie.
Yeah.
And the great one, Zoe Bell plays the bride's stunt double. So if you ever watched the great documentary Double Dare, it's a lot of behind the scenes of her getting that role as Beatrix Kiddo's stunt double and doing all of the martial arts and sword fighting and all sorts of fun stuff. Anyways, there we go. Kill Bill 1 and 2. So we're going to you, Dash, for your number 4.
Well, my number 4, I'm pulling a Dash.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Dash.
Something came off my list.
Oh, Chutes and Ladders.
Something has come off of my list because as we've been talking, I'm sure you see me over here doodling and stuff. I'm not doodling. I literally have my big old list here. It just looks like white paper.
Looks like white paper. Yeah. Ooh, it's white paper.
Oh.
Yeah. I had it's a great movie at number 4. It really is. But a movie popped into my head when you were talking about Felon.
Okay.
And yeah, something that popped in my head, and this has got to go at number 4 for me. My number 4, just an eclectic cast, small stories that all come together, culminate at the penthouse of a casino where Jeremy Piven resides.
You know I'm horrible with names.
You know who Ryan Reynolds is, right?
I know who Ryan Reynolds is.
You know who Andy Garcia is?
Maybe.
He's in the Ocean's 11 movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I saw him, I'd know him.
Alicia Keys.
I've heard of her.
Yeah,
Singer.
Come on, man.
Common. My favorite line from this movie is, "You know you saved this black man," right? One of my absolute favorite movies. And Chris Pine is in this too. This is, I don't even know what year because I didn't write it down. This is the movie Smoking Aces.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I've heard of that movie.
Heard of it too. Haven't seen it.
Such an in-your-face movie. And it all it all culminates around a mob boss who has changed his identity to get away with murder, pretty much. And it has to deal with Jeremy Piven's role in the movie, as well as Andy Garcia's and Ryan Reynolds' role. But it's all pretty much a hunt to kill, this mob boss. And nobody can find him. And so there are so many twists, and one of the greatest shootouts next to Heat, I will say, in a movie that takes place between casinos and the parking lot, and we're talking about some big old guns too, putting big holes in elevators and stuff. And there's a scene where Alicia Keys and Common meet up. And he's holding her in his arms, and he's going down the stairwell, and he stops, and she just looks at him. He goes, "You know, you saved this black man, right?" And it's just one of those that was the perfect line right there.
Gangster line.
It's such a fun movie. If you've never seen it, Smoking Aces, they did a sequel to it, and it was a movie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it was the
That's
same
good.
director, but it
Yeah,
tried
that's
to have
tough.
the same feel to it and everything, but it just kind of fell short.
Someone doing a copy of somebody else's style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that is my number 4. Yeah, I'll yeah. The one I took out, I'll put in my honorable mentions though.
Okay.
It's a big movie too. It's a big
Okay.
gangster movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, all right.
Up to number
3.
Josh.
Jared.
Trace.
I know I don't do this too often.
Okay.
I'm not pulling a you. I'm not pulling a you.
Okay.
But I remembered a really good movie. Well, I added 2 to my honorable mentions here. I'm
Okay.
up to 4 now, which is impressive for me.
Hmm.
But number 3 is one of the best blends of reality with fantasy. And it actually comes to us from Netflix, of all places, where Will Smith and a very unknown actor by the name of Joel Edgerton plays in very heavy makeup. Bright from 2017.
Nice.
I'm glad that you guys got it. I like that it's a buddy cop duo, that they're on a mission. They're on 2 very different missions. You know, Will Smith just wants to get out, he wants to get his 20 in the end, you know, with his very obtusely beautiful woman that he lives with in a very, very LA-esque neighborhood where he literally lives right next to gangsters, which is hilarious. But I love the dynamic where you don't see the ending is very interesting. Because Will Smith is that he epitomizes that guy that just wants to get his 20 in and get done. And I can't believe the ending because I thought something else was going to happen. But Will Smith actually did a very, very good job in this movie. And that's not a sentence I will say very often.
Oh, okay.
I liked him in Fresh Prince. I liked him in Bad Boys. And that was about it.
Independence Day?
Men in Black?
Great in Independence Day.
It felt
Pursuit
like...
of Happiness?
What?
The Pursuit of Happiness?
That made me cry tears. And I didn't like that.
Uh-oh.
That made me cry tears.
Bad tears.
That made me cry the sad tears. I don't want to be sad when I'm watching a movie, man.
I did not. This is a great movie.
I want to cry, but not out of sadness.
If I'm not mistaken, this was the first Netflix movie.
This was like one of the first
ones,
actual Netflix movies that took off.
And the makeup, the makeup was incredible. One, it's Joel Edgerton. But then, I think
I didn't know it was him.
I had just seen Warrior like right before this, and then it was like, oh, this dude is a good actor. And then I was like,
you've seen Warrior too?
Oh, it's such a great epic movie, dude.
Oh my god,
him and Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte's performance in that movie is like bar none, like one of the best. Like that movie, his
got
role,
chills.
Like, touches me as the dad to where it's like he wants to do better, but he can't do it.
Well,
like,
he was doing so good too, and then that hotel scene, you want to cry tears of super sadness, Stephanie, and feel the chills that like I have in my body right now that I just can't contain. Yeah, watch Warrior. You want to see somebody lose their absolute
It's definitely on my list. I need to see that movie. I know. Yeah, I'm
sorry.
I'm ashamed that I haven't. That's okay. Good movie. 2 good movies. Bright is a fun movie though.
Yeah, he's such a good actor.
He's a good actor.
Who's a good actor? I'm sorry.
Uncle Baru in the Star Wars prequels as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Joel Edgerton.
Yep.
He's another man crush I have.
Also see The Gift. I think that's right. The Gift.
Is that with Keanu?
No, with Jason Bateman. I think that's right. I'm thinking of the right one where he Jason Bateman and he were like friends in school and he did something to make fun of Joel Edgerton's character, and Joel Edgerton is like keeps sending gifts to like his wife and stuff like that. I think that's right. Anyways, sorry, I sidetracked the conversation.
No, you're good.
Good
actors have many good movies, and that's why they're in them.
Very true.
Yeah.
So speaking of actors who are in many movies, here's two actors actually, who have both been in a movie that I have previously mentioned. But this is a movie where an elite law enforcement squad is tasked with infiltrating a high-rise building run by a ruthless drug lord, again in the slums of Jakarta. Rama and his gang of officers try to infiltrate this high-rise tower in the movie and short sequel that came after, The Raid and The Raid 2. Have you guys seen The Raid?
No.
I've heard of it.
It it's very pertinent because it's been recently
a lot
announced.
of expression there. Oh,
I mean, it's a movie that's difficult to describe if you have not seen it. It's an absolute balletic masterpiece of martial arts cinema. And I'm not the only one who says that. Anybody who has seen the movie, who is of a, critic level, it's absolutely the case. They're incredible movies. So again, Iko Uwais, he's just somebody that anytime he's in a film, I'm going to watch it. He's got a great Wu Assassins show on Netflix. He's good in everything that he does. Not a super awesome actor, but a very relatable actor when he's on screen. But so the braid takes place where they go through this, kind of like the movie Judge Dredd. He has to go through all these layers of this high-rise building to get to the kingpin of this drug cartel. It's at the very top. And then the raid 2 shortly follows the events of the raid 1, where Rama has to go to his brother, and then they have to continue his search towards getting toward the heart of this gang and hopefully extracting himself and his brother out of this gang life. And in between, you see incredible silat martial arts. Incredible movies. That's all I got to say. I highly recommend The Raid and The Raid 2. And they're going to probably remake it. It looks like Netflix is going to remake The Raid, a reimagining set in Philadelphia. We'll see. Michael Bay is producing that, so we'll see how many explosions get inserted into what should be a martial arts masterpiece. If it's a gun kata, I'm not going to like it.
Are there a lot of chippy chop cut jumps, or is it lot of just
no, they're very long sustaining shots on the action. These guys, Iko Uwais is a master of silat. The person he's fighting, Mad Dog Yayan Ruian is his name, also a master of silat, and them choreographing these fights. Joe Taslim was a judo champion. I mean, these are all like master martial artists choreographing these incredible fight scenes. And Gareth Evans, his view on the action, it's very clear. You always see what's going on with the action. He very much showcases these guys. It's the gold standard for action films right now.
That is why I'm a huge advocate to have people that are like the stunt doubles who do this stuff for a living. Give them movies. Give them movies where they don't have many lines, where they can choreograph these beautiful scenes with these directors who are just like, and go. And then 5 minutes, they're like, great, we'll use it, put it in post. And it's just this beautiful scene where you can see everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. So both these movies I mentioned, Raid 2, The Night Comes for Us, no quick cuts. You will definitely see the action and the choreography going on.
Dash is doing his work down there.
He's doing his work down there. So that's my number 3, Dash. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I think, is the epitome of just gangsterdom. This is Robert Downey Jr. No, wow, Robert De Niro.
Oh wow, that's very different.
Yeah, those are two very
similar, very similar actors.
Yeah, different Robert. Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Ray Liotta. This is Goodfellas.
Yep.
A movie that should be higher, but I can't put it higher.
Number 3.
It's number 3. Yeah. Just iconic lines throughout this movie. Just between Pesci alone in this movie.
Do I amuse you?
Yeah, do I amuse you? Am I a clown here?
Mm-hmm. Very iconic.
This is another movie that's like, Dick Tracy. This is like The Crow. It's Goodfellas. If you've never seen Goodfellas, like, what are you doing? Pause the show, go watch it, come back to the thing. Are you serious? We have a gangster show right now, and you've never seen Goodfellas.
Stephanie, I've seen Goodfellas. All right.
I know I should be ashamed. I'm sorry, but I haven't seen it. Have you
seen The Sopranos?
No. As you can tell by my list, I don't usually watch traditional gangster movies. I don't traditionally watch them a whole lot.
It hurts my soul.
I know I should watch Goodfellas. I know I should watch Casino. I know I should watch Soprano. I probably would love them. I probably will love them.
Such a good movie. But this is the movie that kind of, essentially kind of set the tone for the same feeling that The Sopranos has. It's the same feeling that you get when you watch Goodfellas versus The Sopranos. It puts you in that same mindset, even though it's a little bit of a different time. Ray Liotta is so good. Is it Edie Falco? I think
I'm sure it's Edie Falco.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not. I know she's in those types of movies.
Yeah, but I mean, Ray Liotta is so good in the movie. Pesci steals the movie. It's just with that scene alone. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away from you.
I do want to watch it. I know. I need to watch it. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Let's see it. All right, Jared, take us to your number 2, sir.
Sticking around the 2012 era, End of Watch with the
good movie.
Look at that! Made him almost walk away.
No.
You gave him a Star Trek shake the whole camera.
That is a
incident.
Great. Oh, you talking about intense? A movie that they put you in it.
I remember going into it as because this was right as I got out of the military, and this was right after I had pulled a lot of actual police work, and I was like, all right, let's see what life is maybe fantasized about in LA. And you take 2 cops who are really gung ho, and then they get like they're the street cops that you would think they are, but Jake Gyllenhaal and Mr. Pena, they get into some stuff. I want to say a different word there, but they get into some stuff, and they learn real quick, real fast, just how dirty some people play. And you want to talk about a shock and surprise of an ending. If every movie ends, I don't like how every movie has those happy endings. That's why when Infinity War ended and it had that very sad ending, this is going to give you that same effect of Infinity War, but there is no end game. There is no end game to pick you up, coddle you, and swaddle you. This is real freaking world, baby. Welcome to life in gangsters. That's what Endgame is, or that's what End of Watch is.
There you go.
And it's very aptly titled.
I became a Michael Pena fan because of this movie.
He is straight gangster.
Is so good. But I mean, I love me some Gyllenhaal. I think everybody knows I'm a Gyllenhaalic.
You're a total Gyllenhaalic.
Shaved head Gyllenhaal too.
It's a beautiful man.
Such a good movie.
Surprised it wasn't on your list then for gangsters.
I forgot all about that. That's what. Oh,
yeah.
And I literally just raved about Gyllenhaal last week.
You did.
No, right? That's why I was like, I'm going
to watch that movie this weekend.
Yeah. Sorry, Stephanie, go ahead.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
important to say,
because it was like Gyllenhaal. I was like, Dash is going to have this, isn't he? I was like, Dash is going to have it, but it's that important to me that I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it here. I'm going to slip it on into number 2.
I think because I used so much Gyllenhaal last week, I used so much like he's a product.
Or like manna.
Yeah. I used so much Gyllenhaal last week. He's not even on.
You tapped the Gyllenhaal last week. You don't have any left.
No.
Magic the Gathering jokes.
I got it.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
In Magic the Gathering, you have mana cards that you tap to draw spells for your spells.
That's all that camping stuff.
I'm a wizard. I played Diablo 3 for the first time ever last night, believe it or not, Stephanie. I live streamed it for about 3 hours. It was fun. I didn't know.
It sounds fun though.
I had no idea what it was doing, but it was fun.
My husband's a big Diablo player.
Yeah, I did a live stream with a buddy of mine who's part of another podcast. I met him, and he carried me through the whole thing. It was beautiful. It was great.
Nice.
I learned how important mana can be, and not to just spam a button.
Nope.
Yeah.
Be judicious.
I didn't know how to segue that. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to segue.
You segued it, then unsegued it.
I know, right?
So, all right, we're going on to my number 2. So you guys have both mentioned very hard and dark mobster movies. This is a slightly lighter mobster movie, but it does star Marlon Brando. No, not that mobster movie starring Marlon Brando. This mobster movie starring Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra. This is 1955's Guys and Dolls. This is totally not in the same echelon as End of Watch in terms of subject matter, but Frank Sinatra.
A whole different end of the spectrum.
Totally different end of the gangster spectrum. So it centers around the gambler Nathan Detroit, played by Frank Sinatra, who, funny enough, doesn't sing that much in the show. Really, Sky Masterson, who's Marlon Brando's character, sings. So you get to hear Marlon Brando's actual voice singing in the same movie as Frank Sinatra. That's kind of fun. But he's trying to find a place for an unlicensed crap game, and all the normal places are not letting him have his craps game because the police are putting on heat, and so he needs to get money for a deposit for a certain place. He runs into Sky Masterson, Marlon Brando's character, says, I need $1,000. Sky Masterson says, I'll give you $1,000 if you win a bet. If Detroit makes a bet, the Sky Masterson cannot woo the girl of his choice and bring her to dinner in Havana, Cuba. And Nathan Detroit picks, forget, Sergeant Sarah Brown, who's a sister with the Save a Soul mission, who is anti-gambling. So
Wow.
very much a mobster movie, just surrounded by this great Frank Lesser score. He wrote 3 additional songs. There's the Broadway show as well. I mean, it's just a fun, luck be a lady tonight. Such a quintessential gambling sort of a song, of course, comes from this. And it's a far more gentler version of Gangsters than a lot of the other movies that we've mentioned here. But I mean, the pinstripe suits and the look of it, the look of the whole movie, awesome. So guys and dolls, and young Marlon Brando, ladies, young Marlon Brando. Woo! Man, he got crazy and weird as he got older, but when he was young, holy moly, USDA prime choice. So there's my number 2. We're going to you, Dash, for your number 2.
My number 2 has switched.
Oh, we did a dash.
That's
again.
what he was doing.
He did a dash.
My number 1 has become my number 2, and my number 2 has become my number 1. I've been on the fence I've been on the fence about this all week. Like I essentially, I do my list of all of the movies that I can think of that I like and stuff like that after Googling, and that peels off into something else. But I mean, as everybody know, I'm a tinker. I'm a tinkerer here. So my number 1 has now become my number 2. Essentially, this is the reason why we are doing a gangster movie top 10, because this is the week that we would celebrate Al Capone's birthday. So my number 2 is Robert De Niro, not Downey Jr. Robert De Niro and Kevin Costner, as well as Sir Sean Connery. This is The Untouchables.
I'm so glad you picked this.
Such a great movie. Essentially why I am such a big fan of the city of Chicago, why it is my favorite city. The whole prohibition scene. There's something cool and dangerous, and essentially it's the gangsterness of Chicago during that time, which that's what draws it to. That's what I'm drawn to. The speakeasies, the way everybody dressed, everybody wore a suit all the time. This is Andy Garcia. I forgot was in this movie too. Young Andy Garcia. It's such a cool movie. It really is. Everybody with shotguns and
trench coats.
De Niro with a baseball bat. That's a scene that I would put up there with
a lot of
maybe not
streets.
Necessarily as in your face as American History X, but at that time was in your face.
A lot.
I mean, what a man can do with a baseball bat and a dining room table, and somebody's head is wow, just wow. And then the speeches that are given between Costner and Connery together are just amazing. I want to say between my number 2 and my honorable mention, it's such a great duo between Kevin Costner and Sean Connery together. Is that mentor relationship that they have, but I mean, Elliot Ness versus Al Capone. It's a story for the ages, literally. So that is was number 1, but
not number 2.
After looking at what I had at number 2, it is probably a top 5 movie of mine of all time.
Okay.
So I had to put it at number 1.
Yeah, to pull the dash.
I'm thinking. If you swap 2 and 1 at the last minute, I don't really want to go through mine and Stephanie's now, because I want to hear what you have to say as your number 1.
You'll see in a little bit.
Well, we'll have to wait.
because I can talk about that movie literally through the entire script. I know I have seen that movie probably well over 30 times.
Okay.
When I say it is a top 5 movie of all time for me.
Okay.
Let's see.
And within the next couple weeks, we may hear of this movie again.
Okay.
It's an amazing masterpiece of a movie to me. So, yeah. All right, Jared, take us into your list of honorable mentions, sir.
So Betty White, she's on my honorable mention. She is from the Golden Girls. You want to talk about OG gangsters? The Golden Girls were gangsters. No, everybody, yeah. Tropic Thunder is one that you actually made me think of. Dash, you know, the golden or what was it?
Yeah,
because he gets captured by the flaming dragons, and then
dragon.
Yeah, and then I just who is it's Tom Cruise, isn't it? That it gets in that makeup and has
Les Grossman. Yeah,
Les Grossman. That amazing speech.
Then the dance.
Yeah, the dance at the end, and then of course Lawless with Tom Hardy, Shia LaBeouf, and all those guys. That it was too almost gangstery. To, you know what I mean?
Dash.
Take that one off my list there.
Oh, okay.
It's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is.
The thing I love about Lawless, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. The thing I love about Lawless, that movie was slated as a Shia LaBeouf movie, and it's not. That is a Tom effing Hardy movie. That is a Tom Hardy movie through and
I'll
through.
have to see that movie then.
Oh, like there's a very pretentious lawyer in there.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Choice pet man meat.
You will meet a very pretentious lawman that you just want to punch in the face. Ooh. And it's glorious. Like it has all the characters that you would hope a gangster movie has in it about prohibition. So it's nice. But my number one honorable mention that I have to give a shout out to is Akira.
Nice.
As Akira. Like I remember the first time somebody had mentioned this was another one that my ex-girlfriend introduced me to. She's like, hey, you want to watch Akira? I was like, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. And then the bike gangs of futuristic Japan, that motorcycle is straight iconic. Mm-hmm. Just the levels that this movie goes into as well, too. It's just so Akira is my number.
Thank you for reminding me of that movie. I just got it on Blu-ray and I'm going to go watch it up at the theater this weekend, I think.
Is it the 4K remastered?
4K remaster.
I want you to tell me how that was because I heard they were remastering in 4K and then I didn't get a chance to buy it because I wanted to see it so early. So I only got the Blu-ray updated version, but I want to know how good 4K is because that TV out there is 4K and I will rebuy it again. I love 4K.
I will let you know.
Sorry, I went off there. My apologies.
That's all right. We've gone off on so many tangents today. There's no apologies necessary anymore.
Well, then let's jump to you, Steph.
All righty. Let's go to my honorable mentions. I only have a few. These are ones that technically have gang warfare, but they did not rise quite to the level. I did have American History X on my honorable mentions, so you did take that one, Jared. That's just totally fine. I have Romeo and Juliet, which of course is the battle of the Capulets versus the Montagues gang warfare.
Which one?
I'm sorry, what?
Which one?
Which one? Oh, well, I mean... several different ones. I guess you go with the Leonardo DiCaprio and the Claire Danes version if you want to go with that one. Another technically gangster movie is the story of 4 young ninjas and their quest to fight a dreaded clan headed by the ruthless crime lord Shredder, which would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, technically a gang movie. Another one, West Side Story, which is the story of the Jets versus the Sharks. So yet another technically gang movie. A story of gangsters and terrorists set against a totalitarian empire, which all starts at the Mos Eisley spaceport on Tatooine. That would be Star Wars, technically kind of a gang movie. Technically, gangsters. Jabba the Hutt is a gangster. We see Boba Fett, the show, is kind of a gangster. But my actual honorable mention is in the same vein as Star Wars, but also does star some families feuding over the territorial rights of the most precious substance in all of the galaxy. House Atreides versus House Harkonnen at the behest of the Emperor of House Carino. This is the families of Dune. So, I mean, it's gangsters, right? The one family, the Atreides, versus the other family, the Harkonnens. Yeah, sure, they're all nobility, and it's all cloaked in this whatever they're part of the gentry, but it's really gang, mobster warfare, and the Atreides does not
Meets
go
the
well
definition,
for them.
Stephanie.
It meets the definition.
Meets the definition. Very well played. I want to give that to you.
Bending the rules like I like to do. So I'm gonna go with Dune as my honorable mention. Have you seen Dune yet? No, you guys haven't seen Dune?
I think the original, but it's been so long.
That one, so I mean, yeah, that has some of it, and Baron Harkonnen is disgusting in that one, but the Denis Villeneuve is a bit more of a traditional sci-fi, a little less body horror than the David Fincher version. No Sting in the new one, unfortunately. Maybe Harry Styles. We'll see. So that's my honorable mention. Let's go to you, Dash. What was your honorable mention? Or how many of yours do you want to talk about?
Let's get through all of them.
Okay.
I do have one final one. But I have to mention movies like Gangster Squad, which was just a fun movie, not a great movie, but it was super fun. The Family. Have you ever seen The Family?
No.
With Nero, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah. I've never seen this. I've never seen it though.
Great movie. Analyze this and analyze that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Great, just funny. Billy Crystal and De Niro. Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. Corky Romano.
That yes.
Oh my God. Oh, Chris
Love
Kattan.
Chris Penn so much. Let's see here. Rock and Rolla. Have you ever seen Rock and Rolla? Guy Ritchie movie.
I think I've seen part of it.
It's got Gerard Butler in it. Super badass movie. High energy, go the whole time.
Okay.
Awesome movie. Running Scared with Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Bunch of mobsters and everything. Young Guns, of course. Regulators, Mount Up. My number 4 originally was going to be Casino. But my true honorable mention comes from some of the biggest gangsters during the 90s. This would be the LAPD. This is Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. This is Training Day.
This was
nice
on my list that I didn't put as an honorable mention. Nice.
This movie, again, it's I know I say the words a lot, near perfect. This is a near perfect movie. The two of them together is just amazing. Throw in Scott Glenn, throw in Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg as well. It's an incredible Exhibit is in there too. Really representing West Coast LA hip hop. Khakis with a cup and a crease, of course. Training Day, my honorable mention.
Nice.
Jared, take us to your number 1, sir.
Number one here from 1999, the beautiful, ever talented William Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery, Norman Reedus, and David Della Rococo, whose character is actually named after his last name. I found that out, apparently.
Oh, really?
The Boondock Saints.
Nice.
I loved this movie so much. They send Rocco. I don't even know how they pronounce his name, but they send him on a mission that he cannot succeed upon. And then they go John Wick on the mafia for trying to kill their best friend. The bar fight scene with the bartender who stutters, the way that they send everybody to heaven, their beautiful rise to power, just the detectives that are running scared, and of course the repeat movies after the fact that bring William Dafoe back, and William Dafoe is a hooker, and just the movie has so many fun aspects of it that you don't even kind of remember that they're out to just kill the mafia. Yeah. So it's a great movie. I mean, David Del Rococo, he does an amazing job of playing a very, I don't even know what he is, but he is high on something constantly, and it is brilliant how he plays the movie. You guys have nothing to say?
I've never seen the Boondock Saints. I know. I'm in shame city on this list. There's a lot of movies.
We're getting ready to get number 3 here soon.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, pretty bad. I know. I should have seen it.
It's okay though. It's just I mean, the first one is good. The second one is still good as well too. I like everything about the movie. It's brilliant. It's just a brilliant movie.
I will say this: something that's almost as good is their social media accounts for Boondock Saints.
Yeah,
it's almost as if like Rocco's character like runs the social media accounts for Boondock Saints, and is it what?
Oh, I was gonna say, is it like on Wendy's how quick they are and how good they are?
Yeah.
Like, okay, the Wendy's Twitter handle.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Because like
I like promote something Boondock Saints, whether it be a DVD coming out or a special edition, it's as characters. Like it's so good. The movie is a perfect movie. And the thing about it is like they won't keep going without the original, nobody's going to be recasted. It has to be same everything because it's a big family that they have all started. And yeah, no, great movie.
Sorry, I'm not yelling at you. Sorry.
That's okay. I take no offense. It is a Thursday. It has been a very long week.
No, it's Friday.
Sorry. It's Friday.
Friday.
Very long Friday. It's been so long you forgot what day it is.
Well, Stephanie, not to bore you anymore, but let's.
You're not boring me. No, I'm so sorry. Long nights at work. But you talked about a mission they couldn't complete. I'm going to read some quotes from this movie. Someday, and that day may never come, I will call upon you to do a service for me. Don't ask me about my business, Kay. Take the gun. Leave the cannoli. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart. I mean, it's only one movie that I could be talking about, and you'll get it when I get this last line. I'm going to make him an offer you can't refuse. There's my Marlon Brando. It's probably a terrible impression there. But this is Basic B. This is The Godfather 1 and 2. I mean, if you talk about gangster movies, it's the quintessential gangster movie. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola masterpiece. Several Coppolas in the film, actually, if you may or may not know. I mean, Sofia Coppola plays a baby. Talia Shire, Francis Ford Coppola's sister, plays Connie in the movie. Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, James Caan, Diane Keaton, Talia Shire, as I mentioned, Abe Vigoda, Andy Garcia, Robert Duvall. There's a baby, Bridget Fonda shows up at one point, tiny little baby Bridget Fonda. I mean, what else you got to say about the quintessential and iconic gangster movie of all time? I know Dash has not seen it, so he's not saying anything right now, but
sorry.
It's a movie that really does live up to the hype. Did you like The Irishman? No,
The Irishman.
Yeah.
Because I heard
you see The Irishman either. Okay. Yeah, they are very,
so
very
long,
long.
and there was like
movies.
very mixed reviews for it, so I was just like,
You're
I
very.
don't want to watch a really long movie and it'd be bad.
Well, I mean, The Godfather is definitely a movie you do have to be ready to sit down a long time and really absorb into the movie. It's a very, very, very engrossing.
I
if
think
you like Sopranos, it's The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the family
Sopranos
drama.
Goes to Sicily, right?
Well, the first Godfather is here in the States.
Okay, but no, the sequel too.
Yeah, Godfather 2 goes to Sicily.
I mean, they do that in The Sopranos as well too. They go back to the old country.
Okay.
No, I think I would like it, but I was speaking more along the lines of The Irishman, that it's so long and it got so many mixed reviews. I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I want to watch a movie this long and it be bad.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
So,
take it. Be like Snyder Cut. Take it in parts.
Yeah. No, I need to watch The Godfather.
I just still can't believe they were like, take the cannolis. It's like, dude, you just murked a dude. Why do you want the cannolis? But then I had one and I was like,
yeah, cannolis are good. I'd leave the cannoli too. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. The horse head in the bed. I mean, iconic scenes that.
I heard that was real. Like it was
a real horse head.
It was a real.
I wouldn't put it past Francis Ford Coppola. That guy's an artist. He's an artist. Anyways, that's my number one. Not a whole lot of excitement because Dash hasn't seen it, but it's a classic. So let's go, Dash, to your number one.
My number one. Like I said, I probably have seen this movie like 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
I just rewatched it again this week. I think I have two different versions of this on DVD. Just watched it on Netflix, and I hated it because it's not the extended version.
The Lord of the Rings. No.
Movie is so gangster, yo. No.
Those elves, total gangsters.
Boromir, just yeah.
Total OG.
No, this movie, okay. This movie stars Common again.
Okay.
This movie stars T.I. This movie stars Cuba Gooding Jr., Josh Brolin,
I know what it is.
Russell Crowe, and the man himself, my man, Denzel Washington. This is American Gangster.
Yeah.
The true to life story of this character that is just wants a piece of the pie. He comes up as a second in command to the man that we spoke about in the Warriors. Can you dig it? He plays, I think his name was Bunky, ends up passing away, and Denzel ends up taking over. Idris Elba is in this movie as well.
Oh, wow.
There's an incredible scene between Denzel and Idris Elba where he gets his 20%, so to speak.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the middle of the street. And it's intense. Denzel Washington, I mean, it kind of has that same air of, I don't want to say it's not ego, it's confidence. That Denzel can just bring to a screen. But it's about, drugs during Vietnam and everything. And yeah, it's just an incredible script. I'm not a big Russell Crowe fan, but
Flying around the world.
Yeah. His character, what's Miss Jupiter's name?
Malin Ackerman?
No,
that is
not
Miss
Malin.
Jupiter.
She is young.
Her mom.
She's new Miss Jupiter, old Miss Jupiter with the dark hair. Anyways,
Carla Gugino.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was trying to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, drug trafficking and everything. During Vietnam, they would bring over, heroin and everything through like the military and stuff like that. And Denzel was one of those that he didn't want to just get it from another supplier that was here. It had been chopped up or everything. So this was like pure heroin and everything. And it's such a good movie. And I mean, you see the rise and the fall of him in this movie. And this is where we get, my man, with the claps and everything. Love this movie so much. Like I said, this is probably a top 5 movie for me of all time.
Wow.
You ever seen American Gangster? No.
I know it existed. So when he named the cast, I'm like, oh, I've heard of this movie, but I've never seen it. Yeah. Bad. Steph's in the Hall of Shame. This whole episode.
Soundtrack is really good. I do recommend you see the movie. I don't watch it on Netflix because you don't get the good ending.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's 2 different endings. There is the extended version. That version has a different ending.
Wow.
It's like it's another 10 minutes long after you see what happens. But it adds more to the story too.
Okay.
I think all in all, the extended version's like another 25 minutes longer, but
Sure.
it's needed. So if you see it, watch the extended version of American Gangster. Don't watch the regular version, the theatrical version, because it's just okay. The extended really hits on the relationships, which is really key for especially people like T.I., who plays the son of Common in the movie. Wants to be this baseball player, and then he's like, Denzel sets up a meeting for him with the Yankees and everything. He's like, "Why don't you go to your meeting?" He goes, "Honestly, Uncle Frank, I want to do what you do. I want to have what you have." And it's the relationships, whether it be good or bad, that really cement the story. And it's because it's about family. This is, Denzel's character that brings his brothers up from North Carolina to help run, his business. That's my number one. I think it's a really, between Boondock
Different
Saints,
list.
The Godfather, and American Gangster, we're really touching on 3 different cultures here
Very much so.
when it comes to gangsterdom, if that's a word. If it's not, I made it one.
It is.
Take that, Webster's. Yeah, this is. I wasn't sure if we were going to hit Godfather, because honestly, when I hit Google, I was like, gangster movies. So everything is Godfather 2, when it comes to the gangster movies. And I was like, I've never seen it, so I can't put it on there.
Well, then that's part why I picked it as my number one, so that this week my number one wouldn't get spoiled by you thinking we had the same one.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to have it. I knew somebody was going to have it because, it's not a gangster list without The Godfather.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
we hit all the ones we should have on this list, I think.
Yeah, I do. I think we did. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit us on all social media. SNH Pod. That's the SNH Pod on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Help us get to that 500. This Monday coming up. We're reviewing Eternals, right?
Eternals is coming out to Disney Plus, and we can all finally see it.
That's right. It is out.
Yep, it is already out.
Plus,
speaking of gangsters, Book of Boba Fett, total gangster show. Had to mention that. Sorry. Oh man, that show's so good.
Next week, my favorite episode. I'm not sure if I'll be here or not. Top 10 fantasy movies.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's that next week already? Wow.
Next Friday. I have been Dash Michaels.
I'm Jared in the Flock.
And I'm Stephanie.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Cut the check.